How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Hopefully everyone is having a lovely day. Let's talk a little bit about newly starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes, Kyle McCord. 20 of 33, no touchdowns, one interception on the day, 239 yards. And just, again, we always have to remember first game playing. First game playing in college, really first game starting and not seeing much reps at all, meaningful reps on the field. So there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be your ups. There's going to be your downs. You're going to go into a game, and we've seen it. Ryan Day is going to say, let's be a little bit conservative. Make sure things are going all right. You don't want to overdo it early. Make sure the guy gets comfortable. And it did feel like we've seen some conservative play there. You do wonder at the same time, though, is how long will Ryan Day be conservative? We started to see later in the game, it felt like McCord, specifically late third, early fourth, started to sling the football around a little bit more, got open things up a little bit more, where they weren't just saying let's run, which personally from a gameplay standpoint, I thought you want to get the guy comfortable, you want to get him going, but that should have been happening halfway through the second, because they could not run the football up the middle, say the left. Indiana was bullying that interior Ohio State offensive line, but nonetheless, you understand why they did it. You want to make sure you make too many mistakes, costing your team the football game. You look at the way he played, though. I thought you looked just at the first drive. But the first drive was one of the first, impressions. But I thought he looked impressive in that first drive. I thought he had good pocket awareness. I thought he had a good internal clock. Some things you don't always expect out of those young guys, where he kind of sat there, dropped back, had to, the 1-2, be ready to make a move, be ready not to take that hit. And that was, again, prevalent when you look and see he took no sacks, because he had the ability to kind of feel that pressure around him, move around and make a play, or move around and try to avoid the sack, get a few yards. But early in that game, though, you looked around, took a couple seconds, said, all right, I ain't got anything. Do it the check down, man. Again, a good, I don't want to say veteran, but almost a veteran-like play, where sometimes these guys, they get a little nervous, a little angsty. Then they try to force plays, try to put the ball where things, put the ball where it's not needed to be put in a dangerous situation. And there was a couple of those, but it didn't feel like he overdid that this game. He did miss that check down throw, but it was the fact that he's seen it. I thought that was really important and really good for Kyle McCord there. So from that standpoint, again, you watched him later in the game, looked pretty impressive as the game went on. I thought, and this was the thing, it's really hard to judge. Now, he did throw the football, and he did have 33 attempts. And you look and say he had no touchdown passes when the game got a little, when they started to get between the 20s or inside the red zone, things tightened up. He seemed to struggle a little bit more. He did have that Marvin Harrison touchdown pass that, ended up coming back because of the fumble or not completing it, whatever. That would have been a nice pass, but I think that was what, a 30-yarder or so? That was a nice pass. That was a nice play by him. You throw that into his highlight reel in this game, we might be talking a little bit differently about it. But nonetheless, we're getting a lot of opinions. And of course you are. You got the freshman you want to see. Say the freshman comes up, he can give you 2-3 years. 3 years, really, if he comes up and plays. McCord gives you this year. If he's outstanding this year, he goes out and plays in the NFL. If he's not outstanding, he plays next season. So you do get 2 years, but you always want to go with the young guy there. So I understand why there's a lot of people saying, let's get Brown in. Let's give him a chance. But, just looking at Ryan Day, trying to do his best to help Ohio State win football games right now, and looking at what Kyle McCord is capable of doing. Again, there's going to be the growing pains. That's going to happen. It seemed like, for the most part, he was pretty impressive. One of the things that does concern me, we've seen it during the game. He missed a couple plays where, specifically if you just waited a little bit longer before checking it down, he would have had Marvin Harrison wide open down the sideline for a huge touchdown. And you look at the stats from that standpoint, you look at Harrison, you look at Igbuka, it's like, what's going on with the receiving yards with these guys? They should be your main targets. Why aren't they getting the ball as much? And again, a lot of that had to do with the formation, with Ryan Day saying, let's run this 2 tight end set with 2 wideouts, really conservative kind of play calls for a lot of the game. You wonder, again, when he's going to get unleashed. Because it's really hard to judge a player based on an offense that it's not even an Ohio State offense. This hasn't been an Ohio State offense for years, what you've seen them around there. It was almost a Georgia-style offense. This team's built to run them out wide and sling the football over the field. They got 3 wide receivers right now that have all the talent in the world and capabilities of being all pros. There's no reason they shouldn't all be on the field as much as possible. So I think Ryan Day eventually will do that. And then when you say, okay, now he's got that chance. Now he's got that chance to really sling it around. Then we'll see more of what he's made of and he's capable. The thing is, early, you got a chance, it's right now it's preparing for Notre Dame. You got a chance, you want to bring in Brown and, see what he can do. You want to figure that out now and early. I don't really like the idea of bringing him in for that one drive just to hand the football off a few times. I feel like that it can be a confidence kill for your other quarterback. It's kind of a momentum kill. It shakes things up for a reason not really necessary. If there wasn't even a fair chance, don't even do it. I ain't never been a fan of that. I didn't like that in the NFL. It's like, again, it takes your quarterback off, especially if you're a young quarterback like McCord. You feel like you're fighting for a job, and you go out there and make a couple good plays, and the next drive to take you out. It's like, what's that about? But anyway, my big concern though, my big concern though with McCord is you go back. We've seen some CJ Stroud highlights on the internet. Like, look at all these bad plays Stroud made in his first year, and would we be saying the same thing about Stroud as we are McCord right now if he was making all these throws? And there's a couple things about that. Obviously, CJ Stroud's a year older than McCord right now in the NFL, so we have to keep that in mind. A little less experience, you expected some more mistakes there. But second of all, again, it's absolutely right. Stroud made those mistakes. McCord made those mistakes. Haskins made that mistakes. Barrett makes it. They're all going to make those mistakes. I think what concerned me about that, though, was when you brought up that tape of CJ Stroud and all those bad throws he made and all those mistakes he made was, hey, he made them. But what I seen was 10 passes of this guy finding wide open receivers 10, 20, 30 yards down the field. I didn't feel like we seen the field was stretched at all. There was a couple of chances. I didn't feel like it was stretched at all besides that with McCord. And again, that could be the conservative play calling, or it could be him not really breaking down the defense down the field. And that's where you're concerned. He says, he just not finding the open guys down the field? Is he holding on to the football, not finding guys? He's finding the checkdowns. He's finding this. He's doing good. It seems like he's doing great with his quick reads, but is he having a hard time seeing the plays develop down the field where the linebackers are going, where the safeties are moving? Is that a concern, or is it just a product of the current play calling out of Ryan Day and this Ohio State offense? We'll see. Overall, though, again, I don't think there's any reason to panic. I don't think there's any reason to, it's like, get this guy out of here. You got to give him a chance. There's going to be growing pains. You do worry about that, though. No touchdowns, Indiana's defense. We'll see what happens with Indiana next week, but historically, the Buckeyes were up on them offensively, and they struggled. So we'll see. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.